What's up, everyone? It's been a long time since our last upload. We're finally getting back into there. And yeah, I'm so excited. We're going to bring you something kind of cool today. So, without any further ado, welcome back to the How to Build an RTS game series, where we build a game from the ground up while completely at the mercy of you guys. What's up, everyone? So, in our last video, we added in some super simple aggro system to get our enemies to chase us around like little brainless zombies. So if you haven't seen that one yet, go ahead and check it out, as we're going to be using the same project. I'll link to it both in the card and in the description for you. As you can see, my Unity looks a little bit different now. It's because I had the upgraded version, so now I get the fancy back on it. But I also upgraded the project to 2020.1.8. So if you want to upgrade yours as well, you're more than welcome to. There's hasn't been any issues that I've seen so far. So I guess without any further ado, let's go on ahead and get into it. This time, I actually want to expand on our enemy AI just a bit by adding some maybe health bars and actual damage based on our stats that we have. So before we start actually working on taking damage, we should probably do a little bit of organization here. So we have our we had all of our namespaces, but we didn't actually put these in the proper places. So we need to actually create folders for our namespaces. We do have units. Why did it upgrade that S? That's weird. Let's see, rename units. And inside the units, we had a few more. So we had enemy. We also have player. We have another player location. We also have, I believe it is, maybe it's player manager. Is that what it is? Nope, it's not. What was it? Input manager. Okay. Okay. And I believe that's it, but we'll find out soon enough. So this is in units. This is in units enemy. That's input manager. Okay, so input manager. We also want, let's see, units. This is a unit enemy. Multi-select is in input manager. Player manager is in player. I'm pretty sure all of these are going to be units. Oh, this is in, yep, units player, units, and units. So let's grab these, plop them right there into units, and then this is in units player, and there we go. Wait, this one, what did I put in there? Oh, I put a basic unit in there. That should just be in units. Okay. There. So now we can also tell where these are all going to be located based on what their well, let's make this bigger for you. Namespaces. So we know that it's going to be in the units folder and then in the player folder. Right? Units folder, player folder. There it is. Perfect. So we're also going to be needing this today. Let's get rid of that. We'll probably be using quite a few things today, I think, to really edit this the way we want. Don't need that. Let's get our unit handler, our unit types, and maybe our player manager as well. Okay, so before we actually get into too much code, I want to make some health bars. So the way I want to do that is I'm going to create a canvas, and I'm going to scale this way down. We also want this to be a world space canvas. Okay. Okay. Now let me scroll out just a bit. Let's just scale this way down. And you can press F and it'll zoom right back into it. Now, let's make it about the size that we would want if it were above our units. So let's just test it like this. It looks pretty good. We might be able to make it just a little bit bigger. Something like that. Okay, and now I'm going to name this something like it's going to be our unit stat display. This is going to have a little bit more in there than health eventually, right? So, and inside of this, let's create an image. And if we hold Alt and click here, we can set it. We want it to scale. Might be this one. Yep, that's pretty good. Okay, and then I'm also actually going to change it now to just width, and then we're going to scrunch that down a bit. Okay, so then let's make this solid black and maybe a little bit transparent. Then let's duplicate this image, but this one we're going to make it like green or something to reflect health, and then we'll just make it to where you can actually see that. Okay, so now we actually have to add an image in here in order for this to work, and this is going to look a little bit funky at first, but you see this, we want to change this to filled. We don't want 360. We're just gonna do like a horizontal fill, and then we're gonna do that to the same on this background one. Well, just to get this image in here to get the same shape. This looks a little bad right now, but we'll replace it with better art later. But this is gonna give us the type of stuff that we need, so you can see our health bar go down. Right? So I'm actually probably going to have to add this filled horizontal to this as well. We're not actually going to use this though. This is only because our images aren't going to match up if we don't do that. There we go. Now it looks like we have health leaving our health bar. Pretty sweet. Okay. So let's just rename these so they don't just say image. We'll get it like background, and maybe this is our actual health bar, right? Health bar. So now I actually want to make this. I would much rather just put its positions 0, 0, 0. Perfect. Now let's make it a prefab. So the way I want to do this, I'm actually going to delete this. And then in our units, we can add the unit stat display. And then we'll just move it up. And that should be nicely placed. Maybe we'll raise it up a little bit more. Put it exactly 1.5. How about that? Cool. Now, let's do that in our human unit. So we'll just put it up to 1.5. And There we go. Now we have health bars on all of our fancy little units because we did it in our prefabs, like smart billies. So now let's actually, yeah, now in this you're gonna see like environment settings and things like that get saved now just because of the new stuff. So don't worry too much about that right now. Um, we'll kind of get into that later. I'll explain what all that's for. Now we can actually start applying some of the stuff that we've made with the help bars. So let's open up our player units and our enemy units. We need to add some references here. Let's do public game object, and we'll call this our unit stat display. We also need a image. Oh. So we have to Unity engine.ui. Now we can access the image, and then we want this one is our health. Oh, I cannot spell today. Health bar amount, and then we'll also have a public float, and this is just going to be our current health. Sweet. We also are going to need this exact thing in the enemy units, so let's just add that. Now we want to, let's actually save these. Don't forget to save them. Let's go into our unit handler script maybe. And you know what? I don't like this. So we're gonna fix this too. But we're gonna fix this in a second. So we'll worry about this here in just a second. But I think I have a way better way that we could be doing this. So let's go back into our scripts here and let's just start creating some stuff to handle the health. So let's get a private void, call it handle health. Okay, we want to angle our health bars so we can see them properly, right? So let's go our camera equals camera.main. Whoa, no. Main. What? Oh, because I camera.main. Okay, we want to get our unit stat display and transform, and we're going to look at. So, yeah, look at unit stat display dot transform dot position plus camera dot transform dot position. Well, I don't think it is position because we want to look at based on where we're rotating. So transform dot, we're going to do rotation times vector 3 forward. Split this up for you. Vector 3 forward, and then we also want it to the camera. Transform dot rotation times vector 3 up. There we go. So we're rotating our health bars to look at the camera, no matter where our camera is, essentially. Now we want to set our health bar amount to equal, well, we want to change the fill amount on it, right? Not the actual like image itself, but equals our current health divided by our base stats dot health. Okay, so that's going to continuously set our health at all points. We also need to determine what happens if we don't have health, right? So we got to die. So if current, oh my goodness, current health is less than or equal to 0. The reason I don't just put equal to 0 is because, you know, if your current health is 0, it is still just a number. If someone does 10 damage to you, you know, or if your health is 1 and someone does 10 damage to you, it's actually -9. It's not 0. Then we want to die, right? And so we haven't implemented this function yet. So a little trick is you can press Control dot Enter, and that will make this for you. So we just get rid of all this though, because we don't need that. And in die, we basically just want to destroy the game object this is attached to, right? So this is going to be the same for the enemy, right? So we're just going to copy all of this again. Drag it over here. We got to reference using Unity engine.ui. Cool. So let's just add that stuff like right here. Cool. Now we can die. Let's actually set these references before we forget. So let's go back into Unity. We do want to change them on the prefabs. So we have to open it. Now we got unit stat display. And here's our health bar amount. And that should be good. Let's go to infected unit. Unit stat display. Health bar amount. Cool. Now, in order to make our health constantly be working, we need to create an update. And we will handle health. Right? And we'll do that also in our enemy unit. Actually, this is going to be interesting. I think I kind of want to make a separate script for handling the health right now, because we have so much going on in this update that it's going to cause issues. But right now, we're just going to do a really bad fix of it, and we're going to make a late update, and we'll handle health in here for the enemy. This is going to change, but for now, that's how we're going to do it, because I don't feel like breaking out too much stuff and referencing things too much later. And a general rule of thumb, honestly, is like if you have a lot of code that's repeated, just put it in a single script instead of like copying it like I did, because we could actually have that in one script and just use that one script on both things, and it wouldn't change a thing. So yeah. Anyways, also because we're going in the update function, we're setting our stats. So when we set our stats at the start of the game, this update function's already going to tick, and we're just going to die. We'll just explode. So let's go into here, and let's get this out of the start function, and let's get it done as the scripts load. So we're going to put it here. Okay. That way we don't immediately implode on ourselves. Now we need to go to our enemy units, because we don't want them to keep trying to attack, right? I think what I want to do is take this all. I'm just going to do Control X to cut. Now I'm going to give an if statement. We'll say if aggro target is equal to null, meaning they don't exist, right? Like if he kills us, then we'll go null and we won't exist, and we don't want it to throw errors at us. So we want to take it out of our nav agent set destination. We'll set it back to our own position because there's nothing for us to run at anyway. And then we'll also say has aggro equals false. And then we'll add an else. And in that else, we'll just paste all that stuff we cut before. So that way, if he kills us, he doesn't just start tripping. Doesn't know what to do because he's way too confused or something. So now, let's save this and go to maybe. Oh, we definitely need to go here. Let's go to our input handler. I want to actually make this. Where is it? Oh, right here, right here. Okay, so we're gonna change this to public. And in at the top of our die, where is it? There we are. I'm gonna do input manager, dot input handler, dot instance, dot selected units, dot remove game object dot transform. So this way, if our character dies, oh, I didn't want it here. I actually wanted it here. I guess it didn't really matter. If our character dies, we want to remove it out of our selected thing, again, to not cause any issues. That way it doesn't keep thinking we have multiple things selected even though we don't. It'll probably break the world or something since code is goofy like that. Okay, so let's take some damage. So we need a take damage function, right? Well, obviously we can just call it take damage, right? Take damage. Okay. Let's make a float and we'll say total damage is equal to we want to send how much damage we want to take, so let's make this a float too. Oops. Float damage. So then we'll make this equal to damage minus base stats armor. So that way our armor can block some damage. We could probably do some fancier math for that if we really wanted to. You can go as deep as you want. Mine's just, I'm not going to get too hardcore in this, but and then we want our current health minus equals final damage or total damage. There. So now we're just going to subtract whatever damage we actually take off of our health, and then our handle health function should automatically apply that to our little green bars, which is going to be good. We also need to make it to where an enemy can take damage, so let's give him this function as well. Now we're actually going to need some attack speed, right? Because you can't just infinitely attack. So, and actually, that kind of gives us a perfect opportunity to go on ahead and clean this up. Because, previously we're having to keep adding things in here every time we added something and adding all of these. So let's actually change the way this works and make this a lot cooler. So let's do attack speed, right? And then let's save that. Okay, we are about to destroy this whole thing. So I'm actually, I wonder if I can yeah, okay. I'm just gonna cut this piece and we'll do unit stat types dot base get unit base stats. That's what we'll call it. I'm pretty sure that's what it was called. Well, I guess we'll find out. Okay, it is. Okay, so we'll do get unit base stats, and then we're just going to pass it a string. What type of unit we want. I guess we could just call it type just to save time. Now we can't do any of this anymore. So now when we send worker, we'll just get worker. We'll get all the worker stuff, but this isn't going to do. We're going to have to return like the actual class now. So we'll just return unit dot base stat. Well, first, I guess let's get rid of this. Actually, this can't return these because we're defaulting to nothing. So we're just gonna return null. And here I want to return unit.baseStats. Yeah. So basically what we're doing is we're using this whole class. We're just going to return the whole class to itself. Now anytime we add anything in here, it's just automatically going to add it to this. We don't have to ever touch this again. But we're going to have to reflect that down here now to get basic unit stats. Get basic unit stats, right? Okay, so that's good. That's good. This has got to go. So we'll just get rid of this because we don't want to set every individual one, and we'll kind of do it the same way. We'll just say pu dot base stats equals get unit base stats. Yeah, unit name. And then we'll do the same here, but for enemies. Go to the EU base stats equals get basic unit stats, unit name. Yeah. Yeah, look how much nicer that is. Now we don't ever have to change it again. The only thing that we'll ever have to change is if we add another class type. That's all we got to worry about. That feels good. Okay. Now, let's finish getting this attacking to work now that we have attack speed and stuff. So, before I forget too, we never actually set like our current health stuff. So, well, let's just do it here, really. We'll just set current health equal to base stats dot health right at the start. So you just start out with full health. Okay, we'll do that in here too. Guess we need a start function. Okay. Sweet. We're getting there. We're getting there. Now let's go on ahead and do some attack speed stuff. So first we want to have probably some sort of like a attack cooldown multiplier. So let's have one of those. Let's do a private float attack cooldown. We also want to have, I don't want to reference my aggro targets script every single time to make them take damage. So let's make a way to store that. We'll do private, it's probably player, yeah, player unit, and we'll call this just our aggro unit. Okay. We want to store that aggro unit, so let's come down into where we get him. Move to aggro target. Actually, we want to check for enemy targets. If we get one, which is right here, then we'll say aggro unit is going to be equal to we want to get this targets component, right? So we'll go aggro target dot game object dot get component, and we want the player unit script. There. Now we have his script at the second that we catch aggro on him. And we're going to use our attack cooldown. I think all we really need to do here is just say like attack cooldown minus equals time dot delta time, meaning over time this number is just going to constantly be going down. We need to probably stop that at some point, but this is going to work for our purposes for now. We'll actually make it to where it doesn't always forever do it, because we don't want a million enemies all doing infinitely counting. That would be terrible. So let's make an attack function and see if we get this stuff working right. So here's check for enemy targets. So we'll put it somewhere by here. So let's do private void attack. Finally. All right. We'll say if our attack cooldown is less than or equal to 0, then we'll beat them up. So our aggro unit, we want that script, is going to do the take damage function, and they're going to take our base stats dot attack. They're going to take that much damage, obviously minus armor and whatever else we put in there before, and then we want to reset our cooldown. So we're going to reset it with our attack speed. So we'll say attack cooldown is now equal to base stats dot attack. What? Is it not in? Oh, I put it like that, huh? ATK. Attack speed. There. So that means, you know, if we have an attack speed of 1 and we can attack 1 every second, then we'll set this to 1, and then 1 second later it's going to be 0, and we can attack again, and it'll set it to 1. And then once it's 0, we can attack again. So that seems like we're getting somewhere. That actually might do it. Actually, we need to have attack in here. All right, we got to tell it. So first we want to check if we can attack. If we can attack, then we should do it. If not, then we'll just probably keep chasing our target until we can attack. All right. This isn't gonna work. That's not all we care about. We also want to be in range to try to attack them, so we don't end in a forever loop in attack and never walk to our guys either, right? So we want to check if our distance is less than or equal to our base stats and attack range. Right? We want to be in range. And then actually we made the stopping distance of our walk attack range +1, right? Yeah. So we need to make sure that we reflect that here, because otherwise we'll never attack. We'll never actually be in range. So attack range +1, and then let's save that. Let's head back into Unity. I don't much like the fact that it's calling these out, and we'll fix that eventually. Now we need to set our unit's attack speed. So let's just give this guy, because obviously we don't want a 0, right? He'll never do anything. Let's put it to maybe healers only attack like very slow, like once every 2 seconds. Warriors maybe attack 2 times per second, so we'll do it like 0.5. And then a worker, you can attack every 1. Oops. Yeah. So 1, 0.5, he attacks every 2. Cool. Let's give that a shot. Drum roll. All right, look at our fancy little health bars. Cool. Let's see. Okay, he chases me down. He's hitting me, I think. Oh, stand still. Let me double check here just in case we got something funky going on. So my current health, is that the right unit though? Yep, current health is 25. So he's not currently attacking me. So we're gonna have to debug this a little bit. Let's look at him real quick. Let's see if his stuff is
Okay, so I went on ahead and cut because this was an interesting, weird find, and I think this is going to be what it is, and you guys probably seen it when I did it. I put an equal sign in this player unit on our take damage function. I wrote total damage is equal to damage equals base stats dot armor. That should be damage minus base stats dot armor. And so I wasn't actually taking anything at all damage wise. So I was actually just taking 0. So that probably is going to fix our issue. So let's give that a shot. And, you know, math is hard, so. There we go. Yep, there we go. Now we are getting beat up. And when we lose all of our health, poof, we dead. Nice. See if we can go die again. Look at that. We're just a bunch of weaklings. I didn't make our guys attack in that way. Just mainly because I think that we're going to have to change that for ourselves, because we're going to have like probably abilities and all of that, and I'm sure the enemies will too, but they're just going to be able to be automated in that way. So we'll have their abilities casting just as they can and whatever they need to do, whereas we will have to specifically do ours, right? Like there'd be no point of us just standing there not actually doing anything and dealing damage. We'll have to actually, you know, maybe right click on the enemy, or maybe we have some sort of like a, you know, in StarCraft or something, you have like those abilities that you can select and place in different places or whatever. So we'll figure that out. Also, just as a quick test, let's duplicate some enemies. Yeah, we'll just duplicate some enemies. Maybe we'll get some warriors. There we go. And as a matter of fact, I think our healer has range, doesn't he? Yeah, so he's got 10 range. So let's test out some healers as well. Okay, let's see how this works. Oh, look, these guys. Wow, they killed me quick. Okay, let's hide some of these guys. Those warriors are strong, boy. Let's hide them, and let's hide this guy so we can test the healer. Want to see his range. Those warriors' aggro range is pretty far. Oh, what did I do? Get one shot? What happened? Had a game-breaking bug or something? I just walked at him and disappeared. But yeah, he's attacking me from a range. Awesome. Very good. So we are in working order, friends. Good deal. So I really hope you guys enjoyed that one. We're getting a lot closer to having some sort of a playable game with our little evil cubes. Soon enough, we'll start probably adding a little bit more cool stuff. You know, we got to get into building soon and spawning and a whole bunch of cool stuff like that. So thank you guys so much for sticking around. I've been reading all the comments, and they've been great. You guys are awesome. I did finally get a Patreon set up a little bit more. If you're interested, there's links to that. I'll put them in the description if you're interested, or if you're in the Discord. I have all links in there as well. And thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, peace.